Jackie's Buzz, coming to you not so live from New Haven, Connecticut.
Hi, I'm Jackie with Jackie's Buzz, and I am here with Michael White, author, professor, and director of communications at the MFA program. Is that right? Did I say that correctly?
Very
or
close.
Do you need to go to correct me?
Director of the MFA in creative writing.
Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. And would you say one comes before the other? Should we discuss one before the other, or would you say all of them? You do a little bit of everything.
I do a little bit of everything. I'm a novelist first. I'm a teacher. I'm a director.
That's awesome. Now, I wanted to bring up this book because I absolutely loved this book, Beautiful Assassin. This is your latest book, right?
It is.
It was absolutely amazing. Like, I couldn't put it down. Seriously, I was driving to Baltimore. Luckily, it wasn't me driving, but, you know, driving on a trip to Baltimore, and I read this on the way and on the way back, and I couldn't put it down. It was so emotional. And how did this come about? How do stories come with writers? I'm so curious about that as well.
That's a great question. This particular story, I mean, stories can come from other novels, from the newspaper. This particular story came from the History Channel.
Oh.
And I'm an inveterate watcher of the History Channel.
I was going to say, are you a history buff?
I am. And I happened to see a very small mention of a female Russian sniper. And I didn't even catch her name, so I started doing some research, and this book came out of that.
Oh, I see. Wow. And the whole story came out of it? Do you just...
Yeah, well, what I did first, I do lots of research first.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that. Like,
about the time period.
Yeah, because the
it's
time period is 1942.
And the Soviet Union the novel takes place, the first part in the Soviet Union, while the Germans are invading.
Yes.
And then the next two parts are in America in 1942. And that was all based on an actual woman and actual events. The actual woman's name was Lyudmila Pavlichenko. She was 25, very much like my character, Tatiana, and she was wounded 4 times. She killed 309 Germans.
Wow, I read that at the end. That's amazing.
And that's what I said when I found out that a woman was fighting in the war, and she was the most decorated female soldier, wounded 4 times, as I said, and became so famous over there, she was brought to Moscow and paraded around, and Eleanor Roosevelt heard about her. So she came over here.
So there was truth in that part with Eleanor Roosevelt. I was wondering about that. Wow, so that really happened. They met and everything.
Right. They met in Washington, D.C. She was one of the first Soviets ever to stay at the White House. And she and Eleanor toured the country. And very few people in 1942 knew what the war was about, knew the scale of death and destruction caused by the Germans.
Wow, yeah.
And so Eleanor Roosevelt admired this woman. And this woman saw this as a kind of a basis to tell what was going on to her colleagues and countrymen in the Soviet Union. They were dying literally by the millions.
That's incredible. And was the spy part? Was that?
The spy part was fictionalized, but there was lots of spying going on.
Yes, I heard about that. Okay.
And you know, we saw the stuff with the McCarthy trials and the hearings in the 1950s. Well, before the war, during the war, and after the war, the Soviet Union had a massive spy system in America. And that was true.
That was true.
So they were trying to get secrets on when we were going to get into the war, when we were going to open up a second front, and this little thing called Enormous, which is their code word for our Manhattan Project, the nuclear bomb.
That's fascinating. Now, what are you working on now? You did Soulcatcher, and you're award-winning, and you've written short stories and such. Yep. What are you working on now?
That's my 6th novel.
6th novel. Okay.
3 are contemporary. The next 3 are historical. I have a collection of short stories.
Nice. You mix it up a bit, huh?
I try to. I, as a writer, and that's a very good question, I try to follow my interest, and whether it be historical or contemporary. The novel I just finished, a new novel, is called According to Luke, and it's about a woman. It's contemporary. It's set along the Connecticut coast.
Oh, nice. Right at home.
And a woman loses her son in a car accident, and she's trying to find answers. So the book is a spiritual and physical journey.
Now, what's with the dark side, Michael? What's with the dark side? Do you become brighter after you write all this dark stuff?
Oh,
Get out the demon in
yes.
there?
I think it's a way to expiate my demons.
Okay, I need to start writing deep thoughts. And that's wonderful. Tell me a little bit about being a professor real quick. I know we have to wrap up soon.
Yeah, professor, I love teaching because I love literature. I love reading literature, and I love teaching creative writing. And I especially love the MFA program because it allows me to teach and direct. We hold our residencies on Mystic on Andrews Island.
I love Mystic. Oh,
And,
very nice. We'll have to come
So
up
that's exciting too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Are they excited that you're, your students excited that you're a very famous author?
Well, I wouldn't know famous, but yeah, I think all of our authors are quite talented and well-published authors. Yeah.
Coming from an expert, it must be nice. So learning from...
It's a wonderful community. Both students and faculty feel that they're part of this writing community.
Oh, wonderful. Wow, I could really speak to you all day. Thank you so much, Michael, for talking to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. And that's it for Jackie's Buzz.